Hey, hey, everyone. Happy New Year. Happy New Year. Come on in. Let's say hello to 2020 and get started right. I'm waiting for you. Everybody, here comes somebody. Here they come. Are you ready for the new year? Have you started yet? 2020. Here it is. Happy New Year to you, Cassie. Vanessa, Happy New Year. Rebecca. Hi, everybody. It is the new year. It's good to see you. Here come those hearts. All that loving. Hi, Catherine. Jan, Happy New Year. And Doris, you too. Happy New Year. Elaine from Ohio. Happy New Year. You ready for it? You all set? You got your goals written out and just visioning what it's going to be like this time next year? Thinking about, wow, 2020 was my year. Are you thinking about that? Hi, Eunice. Hi, Marianne. Happy New Year. Well, we had a nice brunch this morning and now I'm ready to get back to fasting. You know, you just feel sometimes obligated with the holidays and all. And I will just tell you right now, aren't you ready for it to be all over? I have all of my boxes and everything ready. I'm ready to put it all away. And I want to take 2020 by the horns. Don't you? I know you do. We all want to take 2020 by the horns. Hi, Wendy. Happy New Year to you. Liz is here too. I'm so glad to see everybody. Thanks so much for coming by. And thank you too for sharing all of this. I really appreciate it. When you guys share, you care. And I really tell you, I'm going to tell you right now, we're getting a lot of people into the sprint. And boy, am I excited about that because this sprint is going to be something else. It's our first one in 2020. You can go get it. Eunice says she's loving the Take Back Your Life journal. Well, I have news for you about that. I am working on mine too with you. Take Back Your Life. This is the journal. We have a couple of these left. Believe it or not, we found some odds and ends. But we do have the PDF and it's $15. Go to savingdinner.com/journal and pick yours up. You can print it out right then and there and it will last you forever. And yes, Cassie said she's working on hers too. Here's the thing about this. It doesn't have to be perfect. We have this thing called the pencil. Do you love pencils? I love these big fat pencils. These are big and kind of triangular. So I think they're for little kids, but for me, that's good enough. And they have a eraser, great big fat eraser on the end. Love them. Just love it. You know what you can do too is that if you decide that this is what you're doing here, because you take the vision that you have, you drill it down to 90 days, and then you're using your habits and your rituals on the morning and night to help make sure that these things are happening on a daily basis. Because you know what usually happens with traditional goal setting? We set goals, we put them down, and we never touch it again. But if we create habits based on our goals, that's where the gold is. You see the connection? Then guess what? It's going to happen. Kind of it's a promise. I love it. It's a promise. Those habits are going to create for you the life you want to lead. I love that. There's nothing wrong with that. So today is, of course, New Year's Day, and it's also Wise Women's Wednesday. Wasn't that nice that it falls on Wise Women's Wednesdays? And wise women do things differently than women who are not wise. And this is why we get together and we collaborate and talk about how to be wise women. It's an important thing. We don't want to be fools, do we? We don't want to keep making the same mistakes. What we want to do is we want to learn from our mistakes and move on. It is that simple with everything. With everything. And right now, speaking of having, learning from things, right now enrollment is open for Take Back Your Life, Take Back Your Body. And what this is, Take Back Your Life is a program designed for women who are going to take this whole year and work specifically on the things in their life to move the needle the way they want to. So let's say, for example, if you had 100 pounds to lose, 25 pounds a quarter, and there's coaching involved. Everything is there. You get discounts on supplements. You always get free shipping. You get my workshops. You get all the things, all of the things. And we do things on a regular basis, stay in contact. We even have an emergency Voxer connection. So you can text me via Voxer and say, help me, I think I'm falling. And I'll fix you up. That's how this works. So this is going to be, I've never done a program with so much hands-on like I am this time, but I am willing to do it. If you're willing to put in the work, I am willing to put in the work right back at you and take you on your way and completely change the way your life is going. If you want 2020 to rock your world, check it out. Go to savingdinner.com//TBYL. Take back your life. And also, I will say, we're getting the supplements out. We've got a whole bunch of orders that are coming in, and we're getting all kinds of stuff going on. And I'm going to tell you right now, you want to get your supplements ordered. Now, we're starting to get low on everything. People are ordering them like crazy. And they might not be there just in time for the sprint, but they'll be there right on sprint week. Linda's asking, is this just for women? I think you're asking about Take Back Your Life. No, well, yes, it really is. It is just for women because I've never coached men. I've coached families before. That's why I started as a nutritionist. I did young families, but I coach women. And this is a one-on-one coaching program that I do with you. And we create goals, we create food rules, we do all kinds of things depending on what it is that you need. Because what I have found since being a nutritionist since 1993 is that not everything works. And sometimes things work for a short period of time, and then you need to change it up. Here's the thing we have to look at. It's not that you're overeating so much. Sometimes maybe that's the case, but I just read this big thing on calories in, calories out in the New York Times, and article, I posted it actually in the sprint, and it was talking about how all those Biggest Loser people had gained back all their weight and then some. There was like one who kept it off, just one, but most everybody else had put it back on. Their leptin was broken. I mean, I could have told them that. All the research points to what happens when you don't dial in your hormones, when you don't dial in your hunger hormones. Here's the thing that you need to know, and I want you could take this to the bank, seriously. If you think that it's just calories in and calories out, then why are 97% of the people who lose the weight putting it back on? Why? If that's all it is, if it's just a straight math problem, this shouldn't be happening, should it? It's not. There are so many factors involved, and that's what we do in Take Back Your Life. That's what we do with the sprint. We take out the inflammation. We unplug you from the inflammation. We give you a strict plan, and we make it really easy to understand exactly what it is that you're supposed to do. And you know what happens when you do this? It gives you a new opportunity to see things in a completely different light. Am I right, ladies? Ask the ladies who are here. They're going to tell you the very same thing. It's the truth. You see things like you've never seen before. And a lot of people that I have coached in this sprint group too have seen results that they haven't never seen before, because it's not calorie counting. And it's not getting out what's your macros and all of that. It's not peeing on sticks and doing blood samples and all that. If you don't want it to be, you can if you want. But you know what it is? It's getting out the inflammation. It is changing the way you view food, because now you're only going to eat when you're hungry. What a concept. Instead of looking at our bodies as this bank account where we put money in and we take money out. You are not an ATM machine, sister. You're not. You know, then you're always constantly in an overdraft situation. How about this instead? How about trusting in the process of how your body reacts? How about trusting when your body says, I'm hungry, that you eat? And changing the fuel source, that's a biggie too. We flip that fuel source, everything changes. And if you don't believe me, you're just going to have to come on in and see for yourself. And you can read all of it. It's not me giving you a bunch of sales copy saying, hey, hey, hey. It's all my ladies who are doing this with me. And we've got over 2,000 women in there now. 2,100 women. Somebody's having some success in there. Maybe you're left behind. I don't want you to be left behind. Go to savingdinner.com/sprint and pick up your plan. It's free, for heaven's sakes. You've got nothing to lose, but maybe some inflammation, some pain, some weight. I really want you to get in there. I love to see people get success finally. And we see this all the time. Success finally. Success that eluded them before. Success that suddenly came out of nowhere because their bodies were being fed properly. They were nourishing their bodies instead of just putting food in there. You know, there's a big difference. We're overfed and undernourished. Underline that. Overfed, undernourished. And when you get to the place of actual nourishment, when you get to the place of eating something that your body is saying, yes, please, thank you, things start to correct themselves. Because remember, the underlying factor on this whole thing is that your body wants to heal. It's meant to do that. It has all these processes that it goes through in order to heal itself. If you give it the right fuel, it will do the right thing. That's a promise. So anyway, I'm just saying to come on in. And you know, it can be a little difficult getting off the carbs and the garbage and the carbage and the this and the that, right? It can be hard, but it's doable. And I've got hundreds and thousands of women who will tell you this is the truth. And here's my quote of the week, which I love. The promised land always lies on the other side of the wilderness. And that's Havelock Ellis. It does. You know, this side of the wilderness, you know, when you're sitting there and maybe making an assessment of, you know, what just happened over the holiday situation, and you're going, oh my gosh, you know, my pants are tight, there's this, there's that. And honestly, you're in the wilderness right now. But understand, there is a way out of it. And it's a direct path. You don't have to march around in circles like the Israelites did. You know, they marched around it was like about a 42-mile radius, and they went in circles around and around and around. And gosh, doesn't that just sound exactly like our carousel of crazy? Our carousel is crazy. Our carousel of crazy is crazy. It's a nutty thing. We go up and down with our weight. How many times have you lost the same 5 to 10 to 12 to 20 pounds or even 100? How many times? Up and down and up and down and up and down. And you just keep doing it. This is the circle. It just keeps going around and around. You're going nowhere fast. That's the carousel of crazy. And we are on a mission to destroy that carousel. Destroy it. He's not helped us one bit. It hasn't done anything for us. Have you noticed too? The carousel of crazy occupies your prefrontal cortex. It occupies your mind. It's all about your butt. It's all about your tight clothes. It's all about your aching knees. It's about your painful joints. It's about your skin breaking out. It's about feeling terrible. It's about putting on clothes and looking in the mirror and going, ugh. That's what we think about. I don't want to think about that all anymore. Do you? That's why wise women are changing the way that they do things. Wise Women's Wednesdays, this is the opportunity that we have in front of us to make an assessment. And today of all days, New Year's Day, we have the opportunity to assess exactly what's going on here and exactly where we want to take this body of ours into 2020. This is your vehicle for life. Your body is your vehicle for life. Elaine says she's been on this carousel for at least 20 years. Honey, I've been on it longer. You know, we all have. And that's the recognition of just the crazy town of the whole thing. There's a cycle there. And we have a convenient forgetfulness, don't we? Yeah, you know, once we get over feeling bad. Have you noticed that? We conveniently forget. Oh, yeah, well, you know, forget. And then we do it all over again. Well, there's a good, wonderful little quote that I read today that said, a mistake repeated more than once is a decision. A mistake repeated more than once is a decision. And it's true. We got to own those decisions. We got to own those. And we also have to look at it and just say, hey, you know what? That's not where I necessarily have to go. I don't have to keep repeating this. I can stop this because we can. We can stop it at any time. Now, I recognize there are cravings. Recognize it. I recognize that there is a pattern here. I recognize that inside that it's difficult, it's hard, it gets overwhelming at times. But we have tools, girls. We have tools. As a matter of them, I'm going to show you right now that we are almost sold out on. I would suggest you get some. It's called L-glutamine. L-glutamine is an amino acid. L-glutamine stops a craving in its track. It does. And as a matter of fact, if I get a craving, guess what? It's sitting here on my desk. Look. And you wet your finger, and I'm just going to show you. I'm going to show you just because I'm going to do it. I mean, take it on your finger. Gone. Gone. This is the physiological benefit of L-glutamine. Not only does it help heal your gut, but it also cuts cravings off at the knees. And that includes cravings for alcohol, methamphetamine, cocaine, heroin, booze, sugar, carbs. It just does. It cuts because it cuts off that place in the brain where that craving thing is. It's like a flashing light inside of your brain. Eat that, eat the pretzel, eat the cookies, eat the rest of the chocolate, eat. And this says no, 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 and it cuts you off. I'm going to tell you what. What's interesting, and I think it's Joanne, I'm not sure, maybe it's Lisa. One of them walks around with a little baggie full of this stuff in their purse like an addict with their drugs, and they take it with them, and it works. Everybody that we have, no, it doesn't taste bad. It doesn't taste like anything. I'm sitting here with it all over my teeth. It's fantastic, and it works. There's 85 servings in there. It lasts forever. It's made with fermented beets too, which is an important thing to know because most cheap L-glutamines come from China and they're made from duck feathers or human hair. Yes, sir. So this is special. It's made from fermented beets and it's very good. Okay, so Friday's Q&A, by the way, Friday is Q&A, and then I'm going to give you 5 things that you can take to the bank that are wise women's quotes that are going to help you out this year. I love them. These are the things that I've written down for myself. I thought I'd share them with you. But right now, I want you to understand, first of all, Friday is always our question and answer day. If you have a question, I'd love you to send it in ahead of time to support@savingdinner.com. And it's fantastic. It will come to me. I will put it on my Q&A document that I keep in my computer, and I will read it and answer it for you right here on this show. That's what I will do. So let's get to those quotes, shall we? Because it's getting to be later on in the show. And yes, start with the one quote: "A mistake repeated more than once is a decision." Think about that. These are things that you can mull over, write in your journal, and think about, and put on a 3x5 card. And maybe this is something that you're going to put inside your refrigerator, even, or something that you're going to slap onto the side of a box or a bag or something. And again, you're always going to want to adapt your environment so that you're not going to have that constantly in your peripheral. But you need to know that you can make a decision at any point to completely flip what it is that you would normally do. Keep that in mind. So the first thing that I want to talk about is the responsibility and the ownership. That's one thing that I've been working on really hard myself. It's easy to find an excuse, right? It's always easy to find an excuse. But I love contrast as well, because I think contrast gives us like, this is black, this is white. And we can see that. There's no muddling of those colors. There's no gray or whatever. It's like pitiful or powerful. And we've loved that quote for a long time. So this one is, responsibility finds a way. Irresponsible finds an excuse. So being responsible finds a way, whereas being irresponsible finds an excuse. Think about that for a minute. How important is that? If we're going to be responsible for our lives and take ownership of our lives, we are going to find a way. Early on this summer, I shared with you one of my favorite heroines is Diana Nyad, who is now, I think, just turned 70. But a few years ago, she finally made it across from Florida to Cuba and swam the whole way. She did it not in a shark cage. She did it getting stung by jellyfish all the way, and she kept her mind on it to do it. She was about 64, I believe, when she did it. 64. And she still did it. And here's the thing that she said when she got out of that water after being stung by all those jellyfish. Her face was swollen. I mean, she looked terrible. She looked like she'd been through an accident. This was her third attempt or fourth. I can't even remember. But she said, find a way. Find a way. Now, if Diana Nyad, I mean, come on, she was obviously a very good swimmer, and this was in her wheelhouse. But she found a way to do this. She didn't look for the excuse. She didn't say, well, I'm past 60 years old, so there's that. Or, well, I tried 3 times, so, whatever. She didn't. And that's for us. This is for us with our very little things like weight loss or whatever it is that we're trying to tackle for 2020. This is for us. We can find a way. That persistence is a gift. Persistence, doggedness, stubbornness, holding on. You have a dog. I had a dog when his name was Little David. He was the sweetest dog. And he had, you'd play with him with a chew toy, one of those rope things, the rope and with the ends tied. And you'd hold on to that and tug it with him. He would not let go of it. That dog was persistent. He'd further have his teeth pulled out than let go of that toy. That's how persistent we need to be. We need to be persistent like a dog holding on to a toy, not going to let go of it for anything. Because instead of excuses, we want to find ways. We want to find ways. And if this one doesn't work, then find another one. Because it might take going through 50 different ways of doing it. But I'm telling you that persistence will pay off. And then recognize that excuses are for those who don't want it bad enough. Think about that. It's easy to just say, oh, it's just too hard. I mean, why would we give up something that we really, really want? Why would we give up so easily? Why would we quit on ourselves? That's the whole thing. We don't want to be quitting on ourselves. We want to persist and get all the way to the goal line. We want to be like Diana. Be like Diana Nyad and find a way, because the way is there. I guarantee you 100% it will not let you down. It's there. It's finding your perfect mix, your perfect blend. Have you noticed that? Like with coffee, for example, I don't like Starbucks coffee. I find it tastes burnt. That's my personal taste. But I have a personal blend of coffee that I just love. Yet someone else over here, they're going to love that Starbucks coffee. And they're going to say, no, it doesn't taste burnt. It tastes fabulous. It's just how it is. It's just how it is. We have to find our own personal blend. And when we find that personal blend, we stop making excuses. We found our answer. It's there. This is why we do Take Back Your Life. I'm there to help you. I'm coaching you to find your own personalized plan, because it is so personalized. It has to be. It is so customized. It has to be. When you customize things for you, then you have no choice, do you? You've gotten rid of all the excuses. Well, I don't like fill in the blank. Fine, don't eat it. This is what you're going to do instead. Do you understand that? This is what you're going to do instead. And we can build it for you. It's a custom plan. It's custom. And yes, Take Back Your Life is still open. It's still open until, I believe, Saturday. Don't let it pass you by. I can only take so many coaching clients, and then, my calendar's full, and that's it. We will close out. We're getting really close. We have a few enrollment spots left. We're getting close. We've got a lot of people asking about it. Don't let it pass you by, okay? Because enrollment won't open again until April. So there's that. Persistence guarantees that the results are inevitable, right? I just said that, but it's worth saying again. Persistence guarantees that results are inevitable. We know this about our bad habits too, don't we? If you persist on smoking cigarettes, you are going to get some inevitable results at some point. And I say this as I was my mother's caregiver. She was a smoker for years, finally gave it up after several attempts, but it was too late. She got some results. She got COPD. Now, if you've ever seen somebody die who had COPD, you never put a cigarette next to be in even the same, proximity as someone who was smoking. It's that horrible. This is the same thing. Persistence and doing a bad habit is going to get you a result. Persistence with a good habit is going to get you a result. What kind of result do you want? Persistence is the key to getting that result. And then one thing that you have to add to the whole equation, and I'm telling you this is part of my whole thing too, is I want to be kind. I want to be kinder. I want somebody to talk about me and say, oh, Leanne, she's so kind. Kindness is her thing. And you know what? Kindness is a gift that we can all afford to give. There is not one of us who can say, oh, well, that's not for me. That's not one of us. So if harshness and, it's one thing to tell the truth, but you don't have to be harsh. And I am guilty of that. It's one thing to have to, point something out or confront someone even if something's not right. But you don't have to be harsh and cruel and rude and all of that. You can still do it in kindness. And kindness opens the empathy part of your heart, doesn't it? Kindness makes you a better person. It makes you smile. Kindness is love. Kindness is everything. And if your life is sprinkling kindness everywhere that you go, like fairy dust, you're going to be known for your kindness. You're going to be known for your empathy. You're going to be that person that people talk about. Oh, that Vanessa, she's so sweet. She's so kind. You want that about who you are. And then I wanted to share with you what my word for this year is. In 2016, my word for the year was unstoppable. But I got stopped. My mother's health took a turn for the worse, and the caregiving got pretty intense. She passed on July 3rd, 2016. And from there, I had a downward spiral. We go back to old habits, don't we? We do. And I did. I fell back into some old habits. I gained some weight back after I just lost a whole bunch. I felt terrible. I was in a really bad bummed out zone. And so I kind of lost. I felt like I lost pretty much most of the year. So this year I've decided, I was stoppable back then, but I understand now that responsibility always finds a way, and irresponsibility finds an excuse. I'm not going to do that. My whole thing this year, my word of the year is unstoppable. And I saw this quote that you're going to love. It says, she was unstoppable, not because she didn't have failures or doubts, but because she continued despite them. That's it. Diana Nyad, all the way. She found a way. And for you, I want you to find a way to your goal. I'd love to help you and be your coach and take you every step of the way. I feel like I understand. It's so much easier to have somebody else looking at your stuff. I have a coach myself, by the way. I don't say, hey, I'll be your coach without being coached myself. I'm coached as well. This is taking your life to that next level. This is saying, I'm all in. I'm going to do this. I'm going to stay accountable. I want this really bad. And when you want it really bad, you go after it hard, don't you? Have you noticed the difference? You say, oh yeah, I'll start my diet on Monday and blah, 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 and then you know what happens. You're there, you're kind of in it on Monday. Tuesday, you start thinking about, well, maybe a little cheat here. And then Wednesday, it's like, forget it. Forget it. Well, when you're in a coaching program and you're doing something and you say, this is what I'm going to do, this is my plan, and this is how I've dialed it in, and this is how I planned for it, yada, 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 then this coachability stuff is there. And you know that you've got somebody who's going to be looking at it. Somebody's going to be looking at your form. You know that you're going to be accountable for this, and that your decision-making process is influenced by the fact, I'm paying good money for this woman to help me out, so I'm going to do this. And the other thing is you find that you believe in yourself at last. How about that? How about that? You can believe in yourself, and you can stop making the excuses, and you can stop breaking promises to yourself. That's what coaching does, because it holds you to a higher level. You know, when you break your promises and you do this and you like, well, whatever, I'm not going to do this anymore. Or what? Yeah, I'm going to do this, and then you don't do it. That's breaking a promise to yourself. Do you know what that does to your integrity? Do you know that what that does to your self-esteem? It puts a big old punch into it. It puts a dent in it. And it starts making you feel like, I can't do this. I can't do anything. I'm worthless. Well, I can't stick with anything. It's too hard. And you start having this whole conversation in your head. Have you had it? Have you had that conversation in your head, and it just goes around and around? And it's part of the whole carousel of crazy. We want to get off of that. We want to get away from that. And we want to get into this place of a higher level of living, period. And it's there for you. It's available at any point. Because remember, a mistake repeated more than once is a decision. And I don't want you living with poor decisions like that. I want you to live with mistakes that are made are experiences now. Mistakes that are made, we just go back and we just take a look at it, just passing by. It's an experience. We've pulled the emotion out of it. And now we're just looking at it like, there's the lesson. Move on, right? Move on. When we can move on and look at that past as only an experience and not a blueprint for our tomorrows, we've got it. We've got the opportunity to create the life that we want to live. And that is what this is all about. So if you're interested, go check it out. savingdinner.com/TBYL. Take back your life. I invite you to take back your life. This is the year to do it. Today is the day to do it. It's 2020. I want you to have that. Cassie's asking me for that quote. You're going to love it. The unstoppable quote. She was unstoppable. Not because she didn't have failures and doubt, but because she continued despite them. She continued despite them. You guys, if one thing I can offer you right now is this. If you will doggedly hold on to all of the things that I am telling you about today, your 2020 is going to be the most phenomenal year of your life. That is a promise. That is a promise. It's all right here. This is how it works. This is how the whole thing works. And it will get you off the carousel of crazy. What do you think of that? I like it. You have to go through the wilderness first, though. There's some work, and that's part of it. That journey that we go on to get there to the other side, that's where all the lessons are. That's where the refinement is. That's where the building of your character is. That's where all the good, juicy stuff happens. I want that goal just like you do. But I want you to also go through it, embracing every single experience so that you can have what you want in this life. Thank you, Susan. Susan said, take back your life is fabulous. She's already in it and into the membership thing. I'm telling you, I've never done a program like this before. I've done lots of programs before, and I've always felt like they're important. I've always felt like I've given good content and what have you. But this, you've got me. You have got me in this. I am involved in every single one of my members' lives and helping them out. And I'm going to tell you what, that's really good. She's writing daily video notes in her Take Back Your Life journal. I'm telling you what, this is the thing you need to know. Your life can change when you decide it's time. And I don't know about you, but if you, January 1st, 2020, a new day, a new year, a new decade, do it. Get off the dime. It's time. I want to be your coach. I'm just going to put it out there. Go check it out. savingdinner.com/TBYL. That's it. That's what I've got for you. Don't forget, you can get to the other side anytime you want to. Guaranteed. You just got to go through the wilderness, sister. I'll do it with you, though. Okay? Deal? Peace. You guys are the best. Happy New Year. Talk to you later. Bye.